My curatorial practice, I would say it leans towards themes of family, themes of heritage, indigenous knowledge systems, and also urban transformation. My name is Anthony Ogochukwu Agbapuonwu. I'm a curator and a writer. My curatorial journey started in 2015. I do a lot of research, I would say political research and like social political research, and also history, looking at the different points in time, both from the past, the present, and also the future. The first exhibition I saw in Paris was Otobong and Kanga's show. And then in terms of communities, Aubervilliers was one of the communities I conducted research in, connecting with YGREC and also with Les Laboratoires. At the K. Branly Museum, I had seen there's an Igbo masquerade called Ijele, and I was shocked because the Ijele masquerade was static. Like usually the masquerade is never static, because even we say something in Igbo, we say Adakuno Fuebe and then more, like you don't stand in one place to watch a masquerade, because the masquerade is in motion, it's moving, so you must also imitate the motion of the masquerade. For me, it also got me thinking about how I would say the presentation and representation of like African art needs to evolve, especially in the West, and like the way the engagement with Africa as a continent or with our cultural values and our cultural heritage, it needs to evolve. The world we live in right now, both cities in Africa and like cities globally, they're going through a lot of transformation. And for me, that stemmed my interest in looking at how cities are made and in looking at really like urban studies. And then for me, the Resonance program was like an opportunity to examine Paris and like the urban transformation also happening in the city. But here, during my residency, I was more interested in this notion of people as infrastructure, but more specifically extending this notion of infrastructure to the activities of artists, also to the activities of art spaces. The Zine Miracle of Affinities, Crossroads and Fragments in Paris, it's a book I designed myself with interviews with artists and art spaces, but thinking about how they navigate Paris. So it's me using this notion of people as infrastructure. So like, how do artists from Brazil, or how does an artist from Australia, or how does an artist from Benin Republic navigate Paris? How do they come here and embrace Paris as their studio? And then looking at art spaces in Aubervilliers, which is a dense migrant community with over 100 languages. How do these art spaces work with diversity of people and like diversity of voices? If a young curator asks me if they should apply for Resonance, I would say absolutely, but I would ask them, are you ready? Because I think you need to develop and harness your own local voice before venturing into the international art scene. The type of support and infrastructures that Nigerian artists need right now is more avenues, more initiatives for them to play, for them to test out ideas, for them to conduct research, for them to experiment, and spaces where artists can be nurtured